Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this new masterclass of IULM Flow that is titled The Value of Words in Financial Markets, Tesla and the Elon Musk Case. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Gabriele and I work in the International Admissions Office of IULM University in Milan. Also, I'd like to introduce and thank Professor Riccieri that is here today and that will hold this very interesting and exciting lecture on financial markets and the case of Tesla and Elon Musk. So thank you. Also, before we start, I'd like to provide you with a couple of information concerning that the idea that has generated this series of masterclass, that is our English taught bachelor program in corporate communication and public relations. So corporate communication and communication in general, of course, are very important element in the current world and in the current job market. Therefore, during this bachelor, students will be provided with all tools and instruments they need in order to operate as professionals in this sector that is always changing and challenging at the same time. So now, after this very short introduction, I just leave the floor to Professor Riccieri and enjoy the masterclass. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Gabriele, and welcome to everyone. I see that there are already a number of you attending this class. I am Federica Riccieri. As Gabriele told you, I am one of the teachers in the Corporate Communication and Public Relation course. And the class we will be seeing today, it's the sort of class that we teach, that I teach in the bachelor's degree program. Of course, I also teach these topics in a more advanced level in our master degree, which is strategic communication. But the class that we will be having today, it's a class that aims to be very simple and also aims to give you a flavor of the type of classes that we hold in IULM. So now I'll start sharing my screen. If I can. Okay. Lorenzo, I'm not able to share my screen. Sorry, guys. Share screen.
Okay, what's happening?
Vedo condividi lo schermo, poi condividi, ma non riesco a cliccare il condividi.
Ok, provi a premere sul simbolo, sull'immagine schermo 1 e poi condividi, dovrebbe diventare blu.
Ok. Fatto. Riprovo. Il tuo intero schermo. Condividi. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Follow this step. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is what happens.
Okay, we need to change the permissions. Okay.
System preference. Okay, maybe we stop for a while and we try to fix it and then go back.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Okay, back again, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience. You had possibly the opportunity to see our Lorenzo Mosnet work. He's our IT guru in IULM University. He can solve almost everything. And when I say everything, I say everything. So welcome again. I was saying this class is the type of class we teach in IULM University. So different contents. We talk a lot about financial communication, and we will deal with financial communication in a minute. And so the idea behind this class, let's start the presentation. So the idea behind this class is to talk about financial communication in a very simple, I would say, sorry guys, can you see the screen first of all? Can you write? Okay, now I see the screen going. Okay, that's great. So the idea is to talk in very simple words about the communication that happen in capital markets. Communication in capital markets, it's called financial communication, okay, is the communication that happens between listed companies, okay, so the public traded company and their investors. Listed firms usually communicate to investors and to other actors of the market to attract them, and so that they become company shareholders. So they buy shares of the company, they become in some sense owners of the company, and thus they provide the company with funding that the company may use for investing. So when we talk about financial communication, usually we imagine that this financial communication is something very complex. If I go back to your age, that was quite a number of years ago, and I imagine that someone was talking about financial communication, I would say, oh God, what is she saying? What is this about? Financial communication sounds to be very, very complex. Financial, first of all, it's an area that remembers me of numbers, of complex formulas and stuff. And so actually financial communication is not only about numbers, okay? It's not only about formulas. When companies communicate to the market, they communicate in many, many ways. And even if numbers in some sense are at the core of companies' communication, as we will see today, they are not everything. So there are a lot of people focusing on numbers when we talk about financial communication, but the aim today of today's class is showing you that financial communication is not something that is just about numbers, okay? Even if we talk about trading, we talk about shares, we talk about money, and this of course, requires to have some confidence with numbers. It is not just about numbers. So one of the things that I like to do when I teach and when I can do it actually is to bring into the class objects that recall some key things, some key points, some key concepts of the class. And what I decided to bring today are 3 objects. The first 2, you can see them on the screen. The first 2 are a phone, a mobile phone. So we are very familiar with this tool for our work matters, but also for our private communication, and money, okay, as you can see there. And as we will see in the example of Tesla, under certain conditions, even the communication that happens through means like a phone, which are common means, non-traditional means for communication from a company to its investors, they may have this form of communication that happens through this media may have a big impact on the value of the investment that the investors in the shares of the company have, okay? So by very simple forms of communication, not many formulas, not many numbers, these forms of communication can still have a big impact, we say, on the market. So the third object that I brought today, if I was in class, I would actually bring the object physically, if I find them, of course, but these ones are very easy. This is a crystal ball. You know what's the crystal ball for? Any one of you can write in the chat. I can see the chat is written in very small fonts, but I can see the chat. Can you? What is the crystal ball for? What do you think? Usually we see crystal ball. A crystal ball is used to predict the future, right? This is something that investors and also companies, in one sense, would like very much to have, okay? We as investor, if I am an investor that I bought Tesla shares, okay, I would like to have a crystal ball in order to see if in the near future Tesla shares are going to raise, the value of Tesla share is going to raise, that is, Tesla share price is going to increase, or vice versa, if Tesla share price is going to drop. Okay, of course, I'm very happy if I have Tesla shares. I bought some shares of Tesla. I'm very happy if the price of Tesla shares goes up, because if the price goes up, I will earn a lot of money. Okay, so crystal ball, I have to say something that all of us would like to have when we are investors. Okay, so the agenda for today, we'll talk first a little bit of capital markets, capital or financial markets. What are capital markets? What are stock exchanges? Why should a company go public? You possibly have heard companies going public. What does this mean, that a company go public, listed company? What is all this about? Okay, this is just a little bit of the basics of the functioning of capital markets, okay, and an understanding of why we have listed and non-listed companies. So why non-listed company exist and why listed company exist. So the second area, we will be, the second point, we will be understanding a little bit why in capital market communication is so important. Okay, it's not like in family businesses. In family business, communication is less relevant than for listed company. Family business, I mean, are those small business that are owned by a family or by the family and a small number of other investors. Okay, so why in capital market communication is so relevant? And then finally, we will move through the Tesla and the Elon Musk case to see the relevance of communication in practice, okay, of very simple communication in practice. So before we start, I would like to tell you that whenever you have something that is not clear, or even if you have some questions, or even if you have some doubt, you can write in the chat in YouTube your questions, and me or Gabriele, who is online, and I will stop and respond to your question. Okay, so I like, if you wish, I like classes to be a little bit interactive. So I have planned for some form of interaction during the class, but I like hearing from you, right? So it's not just me speaking one way. I like to have a little bit of interaction if you like it too. So don't be shy. I am very happy if you pose me questions or ask me, please, to explain something again or in much more detail. Okay? Okay. So let's start with an understanding of what are capital markets and why a company should go public. If you imagine that capital markets are something very far from you, with this article that I grabbed from the press, you will see very soon that capital market is not so far from our lives. Chiara Ferragni, I know she does not need to be introduced to young people as you are. Chiara Ferragni, as you know, she has built her own brand. Okay, she's now starting to produce accessories and other things related to the fashion industry with her own brand. So Chiara is actually the company that Chiara owns partially. Okay, is called Serendipity. Is this one here? No. Is this one here, Serendipity. Okay, that company owns Chiara Ferragni brand, and Chiara is now planning to take her company to the stock exchange. So actually taking a company to the stock exchange is nothing else that going to the quotation of the company. So Serendipity is going public. Okay, that's another way of saying the same thing. So she's not an experienced manager, okay? And as you can see, she's quite a very good entrepreneur, though, because she started from the digital, and now she's building a 360-degree company, actually. So we will see and try to understand why Chiara may have taken this choice of bringing her company or to the stock exchange, or better, Chiara is thinking about the opportunity to bring serendipity to the stock exchange. Okay, now we will have, to start with, we will have a short video on capital markets. I like this short video because this explains what a capital market is with very simple words, okay, and with very simple example. This is something I like a lot, and I select time by time videos or experts interviews, or when we don't have experts coming live in our classes, right? To make the class more dynamic. Okay, so let's watch this video on capital market. I don't know if Lorenzo can play the video.
Ever thought what capital markets are all about? What is the whole hype about Wall Street, stocks, bonds, inflation, and all those mind-boggling jargons? So, here we are to help you cut to the chase. Welcome to the interactive session on Introduction to Capital Markets, brought to you by ION Education. Let's start by breaking the word up. If we said the word capital, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I am not talking about our country's capital here. We are talking from a business point of view. So, for most of us, it's going to be money, and that's correct. Money is the primary base for the word capital. And markets, well, markets refer to a place where products and services are bought and sold between buyers and sellers. Putting the words together, capital markets are markets where money is exchanged between people who have excess of it to those who are in need. Now, when we say excess, he may not be a snobbish guy with a fleet of super luxury cars and a lot of cash. It could be anyone having a regular lifestyle with some money for which he has no immediate use. Similarly, someone who is in need may not be a beggar on the road. They are companies or organizations who are already doing well in their business, but require more money to expand operations. ION example. Ace, an industrialist in the textile business. Ace manages to clinch a deal with Gucci to export textile cloth to their manufacturing unit. However, his company, Ace Textiles Incorporated, is currently functioning at full capacity and has no room for new orders. If Ace Textiles Incorporated takes up this contract, then he will have to set up another industrial unit, which would cost 10 million rupees. Ace can go to the bank to borrow money, but the bank will charge a high interest rate. Chances are, even if Ace can afford the interest rates, banks will scrutinize Ace before lending to him and ask him hundreds of questions just like our parents do before lending us money. There is another option. Ace can make his company go public and get listed on the stock markets. This means that he is reaching out to the public for investments in his company in exchange for part ownership of the company. Public here means the common people who would invest in Ace as they believe in his business. Got it? Still awake? Yes? No? Maybe? Anybody? Another common question is, what is a share? Let me start by explaining that shares, scrips, equity, and stocks are jargons that actually mean the same thing. So, next time you hear someone saying any of the above, you know they are referring to the same exact thing. ION example. Ace and his friends are going out for lunch and decide to order a pizza of 10 slices. That will cost them 100 rupees. How much is each of them supposed to pay for their share of 2 slices? 10, 20, 30, 40? Interaction. But Ace wants to eat some more. He is willing to pay a premium of 20% and buy another slice at 12 rupees. His friend, Eric, agrees to stay hungry and instead earn the profit from the sale. Now, this makes Ace the majority holder for the pizza, so he can decide the toppings for the pizza. He likes pepperoni, so that's what it's gonna be. But 3 others dislike pepperoni and decide to gang up against the decision. Together, they are 60% of the shareholders, and so the group, as a whole, has more control on decision-taking. And now it's going to be barbecue chicken, just like the 3 friends wanted. Ace is pissed off and is compelled to agree. Replicate the example in the real market, and you understand that buying a share of a company is like buying a slice of a very large pizza. The movements of the markets are controlled by demand and supply. Rise in demand leads to a rise in the prices, and vice versa. Similarly, excess of supply leads to fall in prices, and vice versa. This is where the investors make their profits and losses from the investments made depending upon their purchase price.
Okay. Back again. Okay. Back again. Are you there, guys? Can you hear me? Just write on the chat if you can. Okay. Okay. So why do company go public? So what does it mean to go public first, and then why company go public? Well, going public, if you imagine that a company is a pizza, as the video was saying, going public means selling the slices of that pizza to a lot of people. Okay, and of course, when you get the majority of the slices, as the video was saying, you get the right of making important decisions, as the pizza topping, for example. In the life of the company, of course, decisions are different, but still the same logic apply. When there is a majority shareholders that owns a lot of slices, that is a lot of shares of the company, this shareholder can make all of the decision, almost all the decision that he wants about that company. Okay, so why company go public? Well, the company basically go public when they need money to grow. Okay, when they need when the company need money, what does it mean that they need money to grow? For instance, they want to expand their production range. Okay, they produce accessories, and for instance, they don't want to produce only bags and shoes, but they want to produce perfumes. They want to enter in the jewelry market. Okay, they want to expand the range of product and the offer that they provide to their customers. And this is one example. Or they want to start to sell their product. Instead of selling their product only in Italy, they want to sell that product in the US, in France, in Germany, and in Europe. So they need to make investments to support this growth, okay, to support this growth. And how can they get this money? Well, they can get the money by knocking at the door of the bank and say, hey, I would like to have some money. If you can, please lend me some money. Okay, the bank lends some money, usually not amounts that are not too big, and then they have to give back the money and pay the interest. Or they can knock to the door of existing shareholders, so the owners of that company. And they say, okay, well, now your company, your little baby needs to grow. Why don't you give your little baby a bit more money so we can expand and grow? Owners sometimes do invest further money in their company, but they may don't have the resources, they may don't have the wealth, enough wealth to support this growth by themselves. So they may call in, another option is to call in new shareholders. And so, for instance, the friends of the family that owns the company to support the growth of their little baby, okay, of their little company. One of the other options that the company have when they are in good health, okay, and they want to grow, is the quotation, okay, is to get new shareholders, so new owners, new people buying the pizza slices, okay, from the capital market. It's not anymore the family, the friends, the cousins, and the relatives, but it is about people that no one knows, okay? Any one of us can become a shareholder of a public company. So through the quotation, the company sells its shares in the capital market to anyone then that has enough money to buy these shares, okay? So quotation is a choice that healthy companies do when they want to grow. So let's see why Chiara made this choice. So you see here, the aim is to expand the product range by introducing kidswear, underwear, and beachwear, eyewear, makeup, and fragrances. So she wants actually to expand her product range. And in escalation from digital is leading to the creation of a 36-degree business. Proof of this is the new business plan. So Chiara has a strategy in mind, which is summarized in a document that is called business plan. And to implement this strategy, so to enact these strategies and this idea that Chiara has on the future of her company, Chiara needs 3.5 million euro capital increase, okay? So to develop her Chiara Ferragni collection brand, she needs all this amount of money. So she is considering to go public, to sell the share of Serendipity in a capital market, and to also thanks to her reputation, thanks to the success she has personally, okay, that will make things easier for her, of course, to sell the shares of her company to the capital market, so to raise all the capital and all the money that her company needs to grow, okay? So, how does it work? How does it work when a company wants to go public? So the quotation, we call it quotation, starts with the initial public offering, okay? It's a process, quite complex sometimes, because it has a lot of requirements, formal and substantial, where a private company, that is a previously unlisted company, sells its shares to the public for the first time, okay? From that point on, the shares of the company will be traded in the stock market. So the price of those shares, as the video was showing you, the price of those shares is determined in the market by the matching of demand and supply. So it is like if you go to the market, the fruit and veggie market, right? And you want to buy strawberries, and you see that they sell strawberries at 20 euros per kilo. Well, you say, well, that's a bit too expensive for strawberries. So that won't be the official price of the strawberries. To get the official price of the strawberry, demand, buyers and sellers need to agree on a price. So the seller sells the strawberry at the lower price, because for that price, 20 euros per kilo, no one was going to buy them. Okay, so the seller lowers the price, and the buyer agrees on that price. That is the official price. And that is exactly how share price is determined in the market, in very, very simple terms, okay? So when a company is, prior to an IPO, the company is considered a private company, okay? There are small numbers of owners, maybe the family, okay, the mother, the father, and the uncle, or the guys that have been studying and have the expertise to run some activities of the company. And these owners are a very small number. Could be the family, the founder, some friends, okay, or some very wealthy people that decided to invest in that company, okay? After the IPO, the company becomes a public listed company, okay? And the main feature of a public listed company is that the number of shareholders, so the number of people that own the slice of the pizza, is very, very large. Okay, we as individuals, we can buy shares of the company, we can buy shares of every listed company. Okay, so there are no limitation in that. So as you can see, what is the problem then? So what is the big difference that happens between when a company is private and when it is a public listed company? We said a private firm has a small number of shareholders. They usually know each other very well. They can check the company health by just going to the firm and asking the accountant, look, how is it going? What are the choices that we have to take? Okay. In the public company, this is almost impossible. It does not happen that if I own Tesla shares, Elon Musk come to me and say, oh, look, what should we do with Model S? Okay, or we have this problem, how are we going to solve it? Okay, I have, as Tesla shareholders, I want to have information on the state of health of the company in which I have invested, but it's not that easy. So I'm not so close to the company, close enough to the company so that I can get the information I want directly from the company. And this is, guys, the reason why communication in capital market is really, really important, okay? Communication in capital market is or financial market, if we want to say it's exactly the same thing, is the communication that happen, it's a two-way communication that happen between listed companies and the actors that operate in the financial market. Particularly, financial communication is the communication that is aimed to inform these actors about the health and the main decisions that are taken in a firm, okay? When a company gets listed, we said investors, the shareholders, investors are nothing else than shareholders, are not able to get the information they need, okay, about the company directly, okay? So once a company is become a listed company, the company needs to follow specific rules, okay? Explicitly, the company needs to follow specific communication rules, okay, that are set by the financial market authorities. Then this rule exists to make the market as transparent as possible, okay, to allow investors to take informed decisions, to allow investors to have all the relevant information that they need to decide what to do, if to buy the shares, to hold the shares, or to sell them, okay? So it's very, very important that the communication that happens from the listed company to the shareholders is regulated in some form to defend the interest of investors. Clearly, it is taken for granted that the manager of the listed companies know much more than the shareholders, that Elon Musk knows about Tesla much more than what we do, okay? So it is very important to protect the interest of these shareholders so that they don't get information that are not correct, or that the company holds information that are very important to be disclosed in regards to important decisions that are taken by the company, okay? So the financial market authorities, I don't know if you have heard about CONSOB, which is the financial market authority in Italy, in the Italian capital market, or you have heard about the Security and Exchange Commission, which is the watchdog, they call it in the jargon of the capital market. It's the watchdog of the New York Stock Exchange, okay? So these are the financial market authorities, like the policemen of the financial market, who are there not only to make the rule, but to ensure that the rules are respected, so that they enforce the rules that that are present in the financial market, especially for communication. And they also define in this rule communication that are mandatory, okay, what the company should be disclosing, every listed company should be disclosing, and possible other forms of communication that happen on a voluntary basis. What is nice to say here is that that not necessarily voluntary information is less important than what mandatory information is. Okay, as we will see in the Tesla example, that was a voluntary disclosure, a voluntary communication by Elon Musk that had a strong effect on the share prices of Tesla. So if we think about the content of the information that the company should disclose, okay, we say that the company should disclose all the information that the investor needs to make the investment, okay? So what is the information that the investor needs to make their investment decision? Well, here, if we have time, okay, if we have time, we try to do 2 minutes. We think about two minutes and answer to this question, right? Given that is a few of us online, you can also think about replying in the chat, or if you prefer, you can scan this QR code and digit your answer in there. Well, let's do it through the QR code so we have all the answers in one place. So imagine you are, it's a very simple exercise. Imagine you are an investor and you want and you need some information about the company because you need to make the decision if to invest in that company or not. What kind of information would you look for? Okay, I wrote there some ideas. So numbers related to past performance. What is numbers related to past performance? Well, it's just saying the performance is how healthy the organization is. Okay, that's it. Okay, performance is nothing else than a healthy organization. We measure the health of the organization with numbers. Okay, in the accounting classes at IULM, we measure how if organizations are healthy or not, if companies are healthy company or not, using numbers. It is as when you go and do a blood test. Okay, you get a document with all the numbers and the different dimensions that you have measured, the different tests you have done. In exactly the same thing, we measure the state of health of the company. And we can look at the past, or we can figure out what the future will be. Okay, these are examples of information that investors look for. Then they can get for information of the management or information on the industry, that is the market where the company operates. That are all information that investor needs. So now, in few minutes, I ask you to, if you wish, to scan this QR code and write one word to express what kind of information you think it's more important for investors. I said one word because this is a very simple tool that maps out your responses, making words bigger or smaller, depending on what your views are, okay, on how many of you wrote the same words. But it's just to get out a nice picture of what your thoughts are. So you can write the word past numbers if you think that for investors is important to know the past the health of the company up to that moment. Future F numbers, meaning the health of the company in the future, how we can forecast. This is an information that is always available. Information on the management or information on the industry. Okay, just few minutes. I see I will stop the sharing of the screen for one moment to see if you are using this tool and just to see if we can get to a nice map of the answers. And we'll be back to you in 2 minutes. Okay, You can type the word in the QR code. Okay, if you can you find the page, the web page? Did you have the chances of scanning the QR code, guys? Hello? Hello, hello. Okay. I'm not seeing words yet. Okay, let's do this. I'll go back to the slides, given that we actually don't have a lot of time in this class. I'll go back to the slides and move on. In the meantime, if you want to play the game, you just can scan the QR code that is in the slides. So we go back to our slide presentation. Okay. Give you the time to scan the QR code and to respond if you wish. Otherwise, we will move on. This is the QR code, which is a little bit bigger. If you had troubles in scanning that small QR code. So what is the answers that accountant and analyst, the big boys that run and work with numbers of the company, well, they say numbers are the most important things. It's everything we need to be able to understand how the share price of a company is going. Okay, so they say if you're able to figure out the numbers of the company in the future, how much the company will earn in the future, and they actually are able often to do this, you will have good chances of understanding the trend in the movement of share prices. Okay, so numbers, we say numbers are very, very important. As you can see from this graph, the two lines are overlapping one of the other. The red line is the number of the health of the company and the future health of the company. The blue one is the share price. So they overlap in the long run, in 10 years, okay? They overlap almost perfectly, so we don't need actually nothing else. Well, are we sure this is all? Well, sometimes, as I was saying, words are more powerful than numbers, and they may drive share price very, very strongly. So let's look at the Tesla and the Elon Musk case. Okay, as you know, I guess you all know who Tesla is. Tesla is an electric car producer, and it aims to produce the best car in the world while respecting the environment. Okay, and here we have Elon Musk. He is he's not actually the founder of Tesla, but he entered in Tesla in 2004. And after that time, he became Tesla CEO. So CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer. So it's the manager, the boss of Tesla, the one who takes the big decision. He's, of course, a great entrepreneur. He's visionary. He's very committed to the company, works day and night. He's an incredibly competitive guy with an amazing innovative capability. And this makes him quite unique, okay? He's a unique guy, a unique character, and this was part of the reason for the success of Tesla in the recent years. However, he is quite unique also in how he addresses the public. So let's see what our Elon Musk did. Well, once it was the 7th of August 2018. Elon Musk was possibly playing with his mobile phone. As you can see in the picture, he was very busy in looking his mobile phone, and he said, I am considering taking Tesla private at 420. funding secured. What does this mean? He is considering to buy back the shares of Tesla, paying them $420. Well, guys, please note that at those days, the price of Tesla shares was like 380. So that would have been a big opportunity for the shareholders of Tesla. So if they had a share that was worth $380 and they found Elon Musk that said, okay, I'm buying all of them at 420, shareholder would have been very, very happy about this. Funding secured. That means I found the money to do so. Okay, so around $70 billion. Okay, I found the money. So what happened? You say, you know, you're Elon Musk, you're nice, you're an innovator, you're a nice guy, but you're running a public listed company. You're not running your own business. You're not running a private company anymore because Tesla got listed in 2010. And so the Securities and Exchange Commission started to make inquiries into Musk announcement. So he started to investigate what is this one saying. And the Securities and Exchange Commission, that you would remember, is the watchdog. So the policeman of the financial market say, okay, look, you are telling us false and misleading information. Moreover, if you had made this big decision, you should have communicated this big decision through the ways by respecting the communication rules that we have established for capital market in the US. Okay, so what happened on this news when the investors said, when the shareholders understood that there was a problem, and what was the reaction of the watchdog of the Securities and Exchange Commission to Elon Musk's words? You know what happened? Well, Tesla stock price fell by $27 per share. Okay, that's the 7%. Okay, and closed at $352.45. So this basically means that investors were saying, okay, what is this? Here there are problems, guys. Okay, let's move out from the company. And a lot of people sold their share. The share price of Tesla went down. Okay, so that's a big loss of value for the company. Okay, that's a big loss of value for Tesla because the value of Tesla was decreasing. Just for a short 140 or less characters message on Twitter. Okay, don't have many number about the health of Tesla there. Okay, it's very much a qualitative kind of communication. Okay, so this is what the Securities and Exchange Commission was writing about Elon Musk. Okay, is the chairman and CEO of a public company has important responsibility to shareholders. Okay, those responsibility includes the need to be scrupulous and careful about the truth and accuracy of statements made to the investing public. They were saying that he hadn't enough money to buy back all the shares. Whether those statements are made in traditional forms, such as a press release or an earnings calls, or through less formal methods, such as Twitter or other social media. So what is the watchdog saying is that no matter what kind of media, 7th of August 2018 up to the 28th of September, there was a Securities and Exchange Commission and the Musk were trying to make a settlement. Okay, look, at a certain point they said, okay, this settlement is not going anywhere. Musk was saying, okay, I've done nothing wrong. So was not recognizing the mistake. Shares went down to 270, okay? And they stayed down until when the agreement was made, okay? So because of that short Twitter message, you can see what kind of damages the company had because of that short tweet message. And then I know so it's not only words are important more than numbers sometimes, but also actions sometimes speak louder than words, okay? look here what our Elon Musk did that summer. It was quite an interesting summer for Elon Musk in 2018. So he was invited on a webcast on the webcast during with a comedian that is Joe Rogan, which is quite famous. The podcast was based in California, and Joe Rogan was offering Elon Musk to smoke marijuana and to drink a whiskey. Okay. Elon Musk was saying, okay, is this legal? No, yes, fine. And he was shown on the web to smoke this marijuana and to drink whiskey. Well, Tesla shares in the same day in which Elon Musk appeared to smoke marijuana and drink whiskey on the web, Tesla shares fell more than 9%. Okay, so Tesla share went down again. So this is just a short and possibly, hopefully, nice example to make you understand and to show actually with empirical evidence how share prices can be affected by things that are not numbers, okay? And how it's very, very important, how communication is not only numbers, but communication is multidimensional. So as shareholders, communication is made not only by what you explicitly communicate, okay, the numbers that you explicitly disclose to the capital market, but also by the behavior of the manager, because shareholders were feeling not very safe in the hand of a manager who smokes marijuana in public and drinks whiskey. Okay, so financial communication, this is our third takeaway point. Financial communication is multidimensional, not only numbers matter. And this should maybe reassure those of you who don't like numbers a lot, okay? When you talk about companies and capital markets, you talk about numbers, but some other times you also talk about words, about reputation, about the credibility of a management team. These are all very, very important things in capital market and are all parts of the communication that a company and its management team does. And this type of communication has very, very important effect. Okay, guys, I finish my class here. I thank you for your attention. I hope that the class was clear, even if was addressing a topic that was not quite simple, okay? But I hope that you had enjoyed the class. I will be here to answer to any of your questions if you have some. And I thank you right now for being here. I hope you will, I will see you in next year at the IULM course. Thank you.
Okay, so hi, welcome back. And so thanks, Professor Ricci, for this very interesting masterclass. So we had the opportunity to grab a lot of concepts and insight concerning the financial markets and also specifically the approach to the Elon Musk case. And this was, of course, very interesting. So sorry, they're telling me there is some problem with my mic. Is that better? Now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, so perfect. So thank you, Lorenzo, for your support. And if Professor Riccieri is still there, we have a question for her if she'd like to come back.
Yes, I'm here, and I take the opportunity also to share the result of the answer garden while I'm giving the answers to the questions. Okay.
So the question was written by Islam Berisha, sorry for the pronunciation. And the question is, why some private firms do not go public like Uber, Dell, Bloomberg, and SpaceX? What's behind their success that makes them stay private and not go public?
Okay, I have here, right here, some, let's see if we have, no, okay, no, it's not this one. We have few, I was expecting this question actually from the floor. So I thank for the question, first of all, which is very, very appropriate in this case. So the reasons among which the company may not go public is that may not want to be subject to the volatility of the share price. So it means that share price changes a lot during and changes the volatility of the share price. That is, all the changes that the share price have during a day or during a period may not depend from the company, but also depend from the mood of the market. And some company may not like this. It's when the share price is particularly low, one of the risks that public company incur in is that the shareholders lose control. So very wealthy people come in, investors come in, they buy all the shares of Tesla because the share price of Tesla was very, very low. And Elon Musk, which was the previous owner, loses the control of Tesla. Okay, so that's a risk of losing control. It's costly to go public and very complex. Okay, there are a lot of things that have to be done in preparation for the capital market, and also when you are listed, you have a lot of obligation to follow. And these are the basic reason. Then you, of course, if the company is not healthy, is not a profitable company, this will also affect the ability of the company to go public. So usually when a company goes public and the shares are listed in the capital market, the company undergoes a scrutiny about his health. Okay, so if it's not healthy, it's not very profitable, the market may not admit the company to public quotation. Okay, so
perfect. Thank you. And also in the meantime, we had another question, if you'd like to answer, maybe.
Yes.
From
putting back the garden. Yeah. Yes.
From Sarar, that is asking, can we invest in companies even if we aren't citizens of the country where the company is founded?
Yes, very good question. This is a very good question. Now the world and the capital markets are global. So we from anywhere, if we with a computer, a mobile phone, and some money, we can invest in any company virtually. Okay, so we can invest from Italy. You can invest in the company in the US, in China, in Japan, anywhere, and you can see how the share price of that company is going in the same moment, in real time. Okay, in real time. So this is actually a big thing, because the market of capital markets are global. So when a company is listed in Italy, it doesn't mean that only Italians can buy it. And the same happens for the US, for China, for all the companies. So yes, do I have other, I hope I have answer. I don't know if we have feedback from the students, if they are happy with the answers or they need more.
Yes, so the student that wrote the previous question said, thank you for your answer, Professor.
Thanks to you.
And can we maybe pick a last question?
Yeah, well, I have no problems.
Okay, perfect. So Andrea is asking, are there cases where Musk's behavior had a positive effect on Tesla's shares? Is the recent announcement of a Tesla-branded tequila one of the cases?
Well, we have to analyze to respond to your question. I'm sure that Elon Musk had a positive effect on Tesla. First of all, because he is the brain and the innovator of all the Tesla models. Okay, so he's the one making the big decision. And if Tesla now is a profitable company, this is, of course, due to Elon Musk. As I said, he is almost unique. Okay, and his uniqueness has positive sides and less positive sides. But clearly, the positive side of his uniqueness is its ability to run the business, his innovation capability, and his skills as an entrepreneur. So, for sure, the long-term success of Tesla is due to the presence of Elon Musk. Then, in the short term, like the things that I've shown you in the class, some behaviors of Elon Musk determine a drop in Tesla share price, but this, of course, is short-term movements. Okay, things that last few days, but still are relevant because they move a lot of money. I don't know about the tequila. Actually, we should be investigating how the market reacted to the announcement. That's the only way of measuring if the market was appreciating that move or not.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And also, yeah, some questions are coming. Alexandra is asking, can a person buy and sell the same stock in one day?
Yes, of course. That's the trading that a lot of traders do. So, for instance, if we had people, so it happens. If shareholders know that there is a bad news that is depressing the share price, so that is causing a drop. So it's a bad news, okay, that is affecting a company. But they know that this bad news is gonna be solved, okay? So because the business is good and that bad news will not be affecting the business so much, they could speculate on the company share price. So they could buy more share when the share price is low, and then when it starts to raise again, they could sell their share and take the profit that comes from this sale.
Okay, perfect. And so the girl that asked if it was possible to invest in companies outside of the country, she is now asking what are the tools we can use.
A mobile phone. Okay. Usually, when I buy share, I use the online the app of my online banking. I go into markets. I text in the name of the company, and I see live what is the price of the share of that company, who is offering the share at what price, and who wants to buy it. So you need just some money, of course, and a mobile phone. We don't need anything else. The most important thing that you need is the knowledge. That's the key resource. So knowledge, it's knowledge about the company, knowledge about how the market is behaving. Knowledge is key for making profits in a company, in an investment, in a share investment.
Yeah, thank you. So this was kind of an interesting question, but yeah, nowadays also with mobile phone we can do pretty everything. Also trade on stock markets.
Everything. That's one of the reasons why I put the mobile phone at the start of the class. It's a tool for company to communicate, but it's also a tool for investors to buy.
Yeah.
So and I'm happy of seeing this screen that the students actually really were good in identifying what is a key important information that investors seek, that investors look for. That is numbers that tell about the financial health of the company in the future, because an investor has always his eyes looking at the future of the company. Investors use the past to understand the company, but then they keep the future in their eyes. So they keep looking at the future of that company to understand if it's worthwhile investing or not. So I'm happy about the answers. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you again for the presentation and the masterclass. That was extremely interesting also for me, that I'm not at all an expert of this sector. And thanks again.
Thank you.
Now, if possible, I'd like to just steal a couple of minutes for all the details concerning the application procedure for students that may be interested in our bachelor program. And so I'll share my presentation just very shortly. And so now you should see it.
Yes.
Okay, is everything working?
I can see the slide.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see here, we have a picture of our campus that is composed by different structure and facilities. We just added one last building, so the 7th, and each building has different facilities and places where students can study and where students can enjoy their university life. Unfortunately, nowadays we are facing a big health problem, but we hope that we can be back to our campus very, very soon and welcome you all. So in order just to provide you with brief information concerning our programs, we have different kind of programs. So bachelor programs as undergraduates, and then master program, and also 1-year master programs. The first that you see in the green box are also all Italian taught. This means that a good knowledge and a good command of Italian is required. Therefore, we also introduced since a couple of years the English version, that is also corporate communication and public relations. And this is the bachelor's I was referring to before, so at the very first introduction I made today. And in this case, of course, the under the spotlight, so to say, you can find communication, public relations, but also different subjects as marketing, management, and different fields that will be very, very helpful in order to gain all tools and instruments to operate as a communication professional. Then we have a 2-year master's program. And in this case, we also have some masters that are carried out in English. In particular, we have strategic communication that can be considered as the natural following of the corporate communication course. And then hospitality and tourist management, that is related to the area of tourism. Also, 1-year master, so professional masters are possible at our university. We have a lot of them that are updated every year, and so some of them are also English taught, as for example, the communication for international relations, the international tourism and hospitality, game design, or international marketing and sales communication. So every master focuses on a specific sector.
Gabriele,
dynamic. Yeah.
Gabriele, poi can you please reload the page, because the audio is not of great quality.
Bad?
Yes,
okay,
it was before. Now it's better. Now it's better. Okay, that's fine.
It's better now?
Yes.
Okay. And so we reached the admission requirements and the admission procedure that is applied to all bachelor students or students seeking for a bachelor degree. We have just some points.
Gabriele. Sorry. Gabriele, Lorenzo is asking if you can please reload the page, because it's still. We can.
Yes, sorry.
As we say in Italy, we hear the frogs. Okay, he will be back soon. He's coming. Okay.
Okay, I hope everything is better now.
Yes, if you talk a little bit, I will tell you if I cannot hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, okay.
Okay. So I was back to the admission requirements. Sorry, okay. And in this case, we have, as I was mentioning before, 12 years of schooling that are required in order to access Italian universities, and proficiency in the language in which the course is held, so Italian or English for this the course in corporate communication and public relations. And the application procedure is not so difficult. You can find the platform from which you can send the application, that is apply.iulm.it. Then your documents will be evaluated in order to state your eligibility, and once confirmed, you will be provided with all information you need to follow in order to take the admission test. So we can, sorry, I was just reading that there was some problem with my connection, and I hope that everything is fine now. And so, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, there are still some issues, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for the bad connection. I don't know what's happening. So anyway, I can just screen our contacts so that students can be provided with all information and they can contact us. And here are our contacts. So email can be sent to admission@iulm.it, and also we will answer via WhatsApp. That is very useful and very used nowadays in order to provide students with full information and questions. So thank you for your kind attention, and sorry for the problem with the connection and the mic. But anyway, you can write us and you'll get all your questions answered. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and enjoy the evening. Bye.